I made an old man. I said, tell me your story. He took out a notepad and wrote something for me.
We took sailing lessons and we are now cleared by our insurance to move our boat on our own. So quick overview of the lessons. They went super well. We did not film during them because we had a captain come aboard for 5 days and we didn't want to be shoving a camera in his face the whole time. It was an intense 5 days for us, but it went really well and we are now cleared and super excited to be. Just feels like we're really boat owners now. We can move the boat on our own. Speaking of which, today is the first day we're going to be moving our boat on our own. Nothing too crazy, we're just going across the bay, but we are leaving this marina. We're officially done being stuck on this mooring ball. I'm feeling pretty nervous. I'm feeling very excited, but also nervous. You know, it's just not having like that security of a professional aboard is a little daunting for me. Of course, like we moved the boat on our own while Captain John was aboard, so he could see that we knew how to do everything. The last full day was us sailing completely alone, him not giving us any feedback. Yeah, this is it. This is the start of our journeys. It's like really happening. We have a boat, we can move it. Everything like paperwork is squared away and it's time.
So a couple things we have to do before we get sailing. So we have to raise the mast. We already raised the dinghy. We have to lower the sail drive leg. We have to run the engine for a couple minutes. We have to check the engine oil.
Yes.
And coolant. So let's get cracking.
Our mainsail is a bit tricky to get up, so we decided to raise it before we unhooked from the mooring ball.
So yeah, start raising it up. Hold on, it's stuck. Let it down a little bit. Okay, go.
Stuck?
Yep, down a little bit. Okay, now go up.
Patrick checked the oil and the coolant, and then we ran the engine for a few minutes. How are you feeling about today, now that the engine's nice and loud?
I'm hyped. I'm really excited to get going. I was gonna check the engine to see if it was spurting oil everywhere, so. No, looks okay. The last thing we need to look for is water coming out of the exhaust. Just make sure there's no blockages. So there's like diesel exhaust back here.
Before we head out, let's go back in time a little bit to the day we provisioned the boat. We're going to be listing our car soon, which means we need to provision the boat because soon we will not have a car and provisioning will be a lot harder than it currently is.
So we're going to go to Costco and Walmart and get way too much stuff
Yeah,
to then dinghy back and forth.
It's gonna be awful. So come with us.
Yeah, dinghy. It would have been nice to do this yesterday with a zero calm.
Yeah, well.
But here we are.
Here's some trash.
Thanks. Give me the bag of bags.
The bag of bags.
My elegant, graceful wife.
What do you mean?
I like that you untied us, but we're not off. We're not on yet.
I know.
The
I was
engine's not
gonna
on.
hold on to the rope.
Okay.
I wasn't letting us float away.
We've
Not
only
again.
done that once.
Now we're free. Goodbye, boat.
My beanie girl. Okay. Some unexpected purchases.
But can I tell you, I think I'm a witch. Because we got up there, Patrick was like, it's gonna be
$450.
He said $450, I said $560. Look at our total is exactly $560.
I think I had to go pick up some chia seeds. I honestly think she had them all through the receipt. I don't believe it. There's no way.
So we planned for this whole getting the boat ready to go for $1,000. We've already blown $560.
To be fair, like these things are like 60 or 80 bucks or whatever.
Yeah,
but we need something to organize the fridge with because it's too chaotic.
Let's hopefully not go over that budget at the next store.
Okay, definitely the silliest thing. We walked into Costco not expecting to buy and then bought.
Yeah, I mean, in the Bahamas, which is the dream, I can be floating on this in the clear water.
It'll be worth it.
Was it $20? Yes.
It seems like a good quality noodle though.
This is a hefty noodle for $20. We didn't get every single item we needed, but this was by far our biggest shopping trip. We were feeling a lot more prepared to head out on our own. It ended up being $508, so we are $68 over budget today.
I wish we had recorded the woman's reaction as we like showed her the receipt to walk out. Look at the length of this guy.
She was just like, oh my gosh.
So now we got to try to figure out how we're gonna get all of this to the boat, which might be 2 trips.
We're hoping only 2 dinghy trips, not 3.
Yep.
That would be the dream.
That's the dream. Let's see if we can make it happen. Okay, so what do you think? 1 or 2 trips?
Not more than 2.
1 with no Michaela.
It took us 2 trips on the dinghy and it was already dark by the time we got back to the boat. Well, as suspected, that was pretty miserable.
And to top it off, as we were just about to leave on the dinghy, our car keys slipped down with my pants and straight into the ocean.
Yep, so that's gone. At least we can get onto the boat.
And we do have a spare key, I think. I just have to go find it.
Either way, tomorrow problem. We have so much stuff to get through. We're both starving. We're both soaking wet because the waves picked up a ton. So the dinghy rides are just like, it's in the dark. It was so splashy. This is a long day. And to top off that super long day, we still had to go through everything and put it away. We did end up writing what everything was and their expiration dates on the top before storing the cans. The last thing holding us back from leaving was our car, which thankfully Patrick took care of selling and we are now free to leave. Let's get back to our first sail. We just raised the mainsail and are getting ready to unhook from the mooring ball. We're off one?
I'm gonna try to get us off this one now.
Okay. We're off? You'll see me making a lot of big adjustments here. That is because going anything under about 1.7 knots in this boat doesn't give you much steerage, and typically we end up having to use the drive leg to turn. Did y'all see that? I got us off the mooring ball. Well, no, Patrick got us off, but I steered us. Gosh. Appropriate jokes in the headset.
Now swing right, I think, because we want it to go over. There you go. You know, because we need to go right.
We had really low wind this day, so we decided to get out the storm sail as well.
Okay, we are sailing. Kind of slow, but we are
Very
sailing.
slow. Our boat mascot. This is Richard. Richard the dolphin, Dick Dolphin for short. Patrick's uncle gifted him to us. So he will be here for many a journeys. Hopefully he doesn't break because he's
Glass.
or porcelain or whatever.
What were you thinking, Jim?
Jim! I'm just kidding. Thank you for the gift.
So we're currently doing like 3.5, 3.6 knots, which isn't so bad for the first time we're trying this alone.
It's slow. But we're doing it.
But sailing is slow, and we're moving, and that's what matters.
Yeah, we're not just sitting still. So we're doing it right?
Yeah, and we're going kind of in the direction we need to go.
Woo! Woo!
Woo! Yeah!
I was gonna say last night I had a dream that we had like a legit captain's chair and I could see so easily and I was like, oh, this is a piece of cake.
Nice.
I can just sit and steer and I can see everything. But that was just a dream.
Yeah, we bought like a little sported seat.
This is me showing off the chair.
We were gonna say, is it too boring if this sail just goes too well? Like nothing really goes wrong? The scariest thing that happened was the Lazy Jack front cover was touching the top of the hardcover and making a sound, and then we were like, what was that sound?
Yeah. It's a beautiful day out. No complaints.
No. Could use like a touch more wind. It's been kind of slow, like 3 to 4 knots. You know, we got time. You don't sail to get there fast. There's sailboats that do go fast.
Not ours.
Not this one.
She's a little turtle.
But yeah, probably just like another half an hour just on this course, and then we'll be close enough to flip on the motors and get ready to anchor. Because we don't know how to anchor under sail yet. One day though. I'm just happy we were able to get the sails out in a way that moved us forward. It's gonna be a little late. It'll probably be like 6 o'clock by the time we get there. This is something we've gotten to deal with, which is the autopilot wind shift alarm.
Keeps going off.
Which at first I was like, I don't know what that is, but we're using like wind vane mode on our autopilot, so we're basically like, keep the wind at like 60 degrees or 70 degrees or 55 degrees right now, as we're trying to just like keep some speed going. But anytime it shifts more than 10 degrees anyway, it puts off that scary alarm. But at first it was kind of like, oh, I don't know what that is. Why is everything yelling at us? But then it turned out to just be like a quick Google and it was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, keep rolling. Yep, keep going. You got it, you got it.
Stop.
It's really hard to pull in.
We only draw about 3 feet, so we were able to anchor here at low tide. Underneath the boat, the depth finder was sensing about 4 feet of water. Putting it in reverse. Okay, going up to 1,200. Going a little higher than 12. $1,400. We both felt secure in our anchor job. It didn't budge at all when we put it in reverse, plus we had the anchor alarm on. So we weren't really worried about drifting, but it was so strange being out here all alone. This was our first night anchoring just the two of us, and this was our first night ever away from the marina.
Okay, first sail, how did it go?
I think overall it went well. It was not perfect.
Oh, it was far from perfect.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your feelings first?
Yeah, I thought it started off strong. We got off the mooring ball. I feel a little silly not having you bump it into forward to help me get it off, but we got off the mooring ball. I think the sailing could have went better. We sailed like most of the time. I'd say like 80 or 90% of the time. But our route, looking at it we just kind of followed the wind because I didn't want to like tack or drive or anything. Like I kind of a squiggly line following the wind for as far as we could. So that's something we can work on, is like learning how to sail better. But I think that just comes with practice.
I think the hardest parts of the day were probably getting the sails down was a little bit rough, but again, that's gonna come down to practice.
Yeah.
And the scariest part of the day was coming into this anchorage because we hit it was like 2 feet.
Yeah, there was
water
like
for a second.
There was a second where it was
depth.
like 1.9 feet of water, which I was like,
Woo-hoo.
we're gonna run aground.
Yeah, it's happening.
But we only draw like, let's say 3 feet. We had like 1.9 feet of water underneath us. So it's not like we were in 1.9 feet of water, obviously. So that was like a little too shallow. I think this anchorage is pretty like shoaly. In general, like there's like a lot of shifting sands. So like where it says like 5 and 6 feet, I think probably some of the sands shifted, and there's probably some spots that are like a little lower. And also we kind of like just timing wise came in as like almost the total bottom part of low tide. So something we should look into in the future a little more as well.
Yeah, I would like to leave here at high tide.
Yeah, we'd gain like an extra 1.5 feet about.
It'd be a little less scary.
Yeah, but we got through it.
We're anchored. I feel secure. It's a sandy area, so.
Yeah, I kind of saw it dig in too. I could go dive it, but then I'd be all salty.
There's no other boats, or there's one other boat that's like really far away.
Yeah.
So we're definitely not gonna hit anybody.
I imagine a lot of sailboats just can't even get over here because it's only like 5 or 6 feet of water in general.
Yeah.
But since we draft so little, I think we can just get away with it.
We are having a bit of a celebratory dinner tonight because for one, this is our first sail alone ever, and we did it.
Successful.
And 2, we have a YouTube community now, and that's something to celebrate.
Yeah, I bought us some sparkling cider because we hit like 5,000 YouTube subs.
Yeah.
So
this dinner is out of our price range now. Now that we're living on a boat, but you know, last charcuterie board for a while.
We're not buying cheese in the Bahamas, that's for sure.
No.
Honestly, being in that mooring field was the longest we've stayed somewhere in over 2 years. So it'd really begun to feel like our home, and we met so many wonderful people. But it is time to continue our journey, and we are embracing the change as well as we can.
I'm just kidding, it's sparkling cider.
How do you feel to be kicked in your little?
I'm gonna toss you overboard.
I'm just gonna make you keep listening.
I'm gonna give Dick a kiss too. Should I dive it?
Oh, I mean, up to you. I'm not doing it.